Importance of monitoring and evaluation in government. Hi guys, I'm your host, Coach Alexander. I'm so glad you've joined me today. If you're here for the very first time, do well to subscribe to this channel because regularly I post the latest information on M&E. Today we're going to be looking at the importance of M&E in government, and as you are well aware, the whole world is full of different governments. We've got the government of USA, we've got the government of China, we've got the government of Egypt. All these countries have their own governments who want to bring change to their citizens. So why is having an M&E system important in this case? This is what we're going to talk about. But before we do so, I have free ebooks that I'm giving out totally free, 100% free, no strings attached. Please do well to download these two ebooks. One is on the logical framework approach, and the second is the M&D guide for 2020. So feel free to download. They are my special gift to you. And if you're looking for added value, you can enroll for this course which is being hosted on Udemy. It's called How to Set Up Monitoring and Evaluation System Step by Step. It's highly rated. It's the highest rated course so far. So please enroll for this course if you want added value in your life. And lastly, this video may be long, so in case you need to skip certain parts, you should do so by using the timestamps in the description below. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, so there's some background information that I want all of you to understand. You see, the governments around the world, whether it's the US, whether it's Brazil, whether it's Uganda, whether it's India, they have a national strategic plan, okay? Or they at least they have some kind of vision where they want to see their country go to. And in this document, it outlines where they are, where they want to go, and how they're going to get there. So, in terms of economic performance, where they want to see themselves in 5 years, that document outlines how they are going to get there. And it has a lot of indicators in it. So, this document is a living document. It feeds into all the other strategies around the world. At least it should be speaking to these strategies. We've got the regional strategy, if there is one. I haven't seen one yet, but I know there could be because I hear a lot of regional stuff nowadays. But then we've got the global strategy, which is, of course, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And supplementing government efforts, you've got also the different projects in that country, okay? Projects such as like the projects implemented by Save the Children, projects implemented by Diaconia, projects implemented by a span of different NGOs, okay? These supplement government efforts. So it's really important that the government is able to track whether they are really achieving their goals, okay? It's really important, and that's why having an M&D system is so critical. And as you may be aware, the governments around the world, they're willing to spend huge amounts of money just for information, and that's why having these systems are important. Look at the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals strategy. I've been talking about each of the goals, what they've achieved. I've been talking about them in my last few videos. So to achieve those results, to track them, they need a strong, solid M&D system. And it doesn't get any better than that. Okay, so let's look at the reasons bit by bit. Remember, the timestamps are in the description below in case you just feel like, you want to skip some parts. Okay, so it provides the only consolidated source of information showcasing national progress. So you find that every nation wants to showcase that they are doing something better to their citizens. It's mainly to their citizens because the ruling party, of course, wants more votes and stuff like that. So they want to showcase. So really, it doesn't get any better than that. I don't know why I'm using that word a lot, but it doesn't get better than that because they need a system that's going to collect this data and report on it. So their citizens are the main stakeholders, but you've also got other stakeholders like the donors, because you have these donors pumping in huge amounts of money to finance policies that different governments are implementing. Okay. So they do that for their own reasons, but it works better for the citizens, especially if that money is being used properly. The other reason is it allows actors to learn from each other's experiences, building on expertise and knowledge. So you'll find that you've got different actors, you've got different players. I told you at the onset that in a country, you've got government as the main player trying to bring change to the people. But then you've got civil society. So you've got those civil society, you've got the NGOs, they are supplementing government efforts. And really, whatever government is doing, civil society can learn. Whatever civil society is doing, government can learn. And when both these players are learning from each other, are learning from the results, from the reports, and the lessons learned, it ultimately leads to an evolution. Things start to evolve, things start to get better. At least on paper, that's how it should be. Things should get better because the challenges are being addressed, people's lives are being improved, and that's where we all want to go to. So the reports, okay, contribute to transparency and accountability. So you find that this is especially so for the donors. Yeah. If you have the US government financing a huge chunk of money to the government of a certain country, could be in Asia, could be in Africa, the whole point is that they want to see value for their money. And I know this because I've seen it before. They want to see value for their money, they want to see the reports, they want to see lives being changed. So, what is transparency? Okay, it's simple. Don't hide anything, show it to me, show it there and then. Don't hide any information. Accountability is also very important because you have to be held responsible for the actions you're doing, the actions you've taken. You have to be held responsible. So if a result is poor, I mean, you're accountable for it, okay? And allows for lessons to be shared. So I guess out of all in all, we are trying to draw from lessons. Government as well. So when the government writes these reports, then they are promoting transparency and accountability. It reviews mistakes and other paths for learning and improvements. Yeah, we all learn from our mistakes. It provides a basis for questioning and testing assumptions. Okay. It provides a means for agencies seeking to learn from their experiences and to incorporate them into policy and practice. So you can see that from these reasons, it's mainly about learning. Yeah, you want to continue learning, you want to improve, you want to gain experience, and ultimately, from this information, better policies can be made and it will lead to a better place for the world, really. So it should provoke questions, it should provoke testing. Okay, you need to be able to see whether indeed things worked according to plan. Was the project designed well? Were the stakeholders involved properly? Were they engaged properly? Those are the questions which we should be able to learn at the end of the day. And then it provides a way to assess the crucial link between implementers and beneficiaries on the ground and decision makers. This is so, so important. Very important, guys, because there should be a link between the implementation of the project and the beneficiaries. And if that link is broken, if that link can't be seen, then what was the project doing all this time? So this is what brings me to another aspect of our presentation. It's the issue of attribution. We have so many projects being implemented, but sometimes it's so difficult to attribute a certain intervention to the project. Okay, it's difficult to attribute it, but there should be a link, and that's how you assess it. So government will be able to know for certainty that indeed their intervention made a difference. Then it also adds to the retention and development of institutional memory. So you can see most of these reasons really, even if you break them apart, it's all coming down to one thing. Institutional memory, what are we talking about here? Hmm? If government has implemented 10, 20 projects for the past 10 years, they are building something. They are building a lot of lessons. They are building memory. They are also building capacity, because the people that started 10 years ago, they are not the same people today. They are more experienced, more ready to take on new challenges. So when you have such a strong team, it builds confidence in stakeholders, and more confidence built, more success means more money. Maybe in some cases it can, some cases it can't, but donors want to see such innovations. Okay, so you can see that really it's just the same point. It provides a more robust basis for raising funds and influencing policy. So you can see it's just the same, it's just saying the same thing, but in a different way. So now, governments, another thing I need to mention is that their responsibility is very big. And actually, the bigger the project, the bigger the responsibility, the more costly it is to manage, the more difficult it is to manage. It's difficult to account. It's difficult to, attribute a certain intervention. It becomes just so challenging. And as you can see, even at global level, we've got the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. You can see that progress is being made in certain areas, but it's not so easy to make that progress, because you've got so many players, you've got so many ideologies, you've got so many different people involved. But that's why now you need a very, very strong M&D system. So another reason why M&D is important to government, because as the project grows, as the responsibility grows, it becomes more challenging and difficult to actually track progress. So this is all I had for you today, guys. I sure hope you enjoyed this presentation. As you may be well aware, we've launched a coaching program. It's been running for 2 months now. I would urge you to enroll in this brand new program. If you want to, just write to me in the email below. I'll be happy to assist you. It's a very rich personal coaching program that runs for each student for a maximum of 3 months. You are going to be taught everything you need to know about M&D. Okay, so until we meet again, see you on the other side. I've been your host, Coach Alexander, and bye.